Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan. Tayo magkakasama sa ating Wednesday Roundtable at Lido. Whether we like it or not, we are saddled with a lot of correlated concerns brought about by COVID-19 pandemic. What someone said was just a little flu turned out to be a killer of sorts. It resulted in thousands of deaths worldwide. It has caused loss of income and jobs. We cannot deny workers' productivity has been battered. Businessmen have come to realize they haven't seen anything yet until this pandemic took place. The government instituted programs to help. Are these enough? Are policies enough? As what the movie Jerry Maguire said, show me the money. The World Bank, the Department of Finance, and NEDA did a survey and found that most businesses have been affected. We will find out the details from men on the ground. Yung pong findings was based on a survey of 74,031 firms from July 7 to 14. My colleagues in the media who have seen the report will only agree that the micro enterprises, 59.3%, have been affected. Small industries, 19.2%, and medium, 12.8%. So this discussion also comes at the heels of the 46th Philippine Business Congress and Exhibition. So we have with us our guests, si Ginoong George Barcelon, dati pong Pangulo ng PCCI. Kasama rin po natin si Dr. Rene Ofreneo, dati po namang dekano ng UP Soler, nung ang Soler ay School of Labor and Industrial Relations at hindi pa kasino. Si Attorney Sunny Matula ng Nagkaisa at ng Federation of Free Workers at mula po sa mining industry, isa ring consultant, si Attorney Deo Contreras. So let's start. Simulan natin. Mr. Barcelon, can you please tell us your views about the situation today coming from the Business Congress?
Thank you, Melo, for inviting me. Earlier, you stated some of the statistics, and definitely because of this situation, many companies have either retrenched and talagang marami mga, especially mga micro, they have closed down. Okay? So what we're seeing now, the sectors that are still doing well, okay, are those in the essential sectors. Okay, food definitely is one. It has perked up a bit on the agri sector. Okay, nakatulong. Yung pharmaceutical, yung mga and then one of the biggest beneficiary is the ICT, people in the digital. Because nowadays karamihan na ang gamit sa digital platform is very extensive. So those are the but the other sectors, the retail side of it, the consumer side of it is badly affected. Yung mga travel-related sectors, okay, hospices, hotel, of course, big companies like the airline companies are really having a difficult time, and they've been not only retrenching, but they have been letting go of people. So we are now at the point wherein everybody is trying to survive. The government, in the first few tranches of the social amenitization program at saka mga ayuda, has somehow helped the first 2 months. No? But what I can say is the private sector, talagang private sector, has been very supportive and very disciplined. No? When the government said lockdown, talagang lockdown for the first 3 months. So ang laki ng effect sa ekonomiya. Also the private sector has been really in the forefront of taking care of their people. Yung mga 13 months, maraming kumpanya naka-advance na for the because during that time walang trabaho. Like in my companies, I gave 18 days COVID leave. ibig sabihin, ano yan, bigay na yun. Kasi walang trabaho yung March eh. Middle of March, wala na, sarado. So I gave them, but this has to, private sector can only go so far. And this is one of the things that we have been trying to impress sa government financial, and BSP has been also very helpful in reducing their reserve requirement and also lowering down the rates. Okay? Ang Department of Finance, as presented by Secretary Sani Dominguez during our Philippine Business Conference, he touched on a few key points. Okay? Having the government financial institution to be more aggressive, no, in helping the MSMEs. Aside from that, I can see the private banks are also just as a concern, because the banking sector is somehow the heart, ang puso ng ekonomiya eh. You can lend people provided you can take in money also, no? Pag wala, eh talagang hinto lahat. So this is the situation now as we look forward. I think the government, through the participation of the private sector, somehow na mitigate yung not that it's not spreading, no? Tuloy pa rin. Every day nakikita mo 2,000 plus, no? But medyo yung issue na yan, yung medical health service, yung kaya natin ngayon. Yung sabi nila, flattening the curve, no? Yung flattening the curve, ibig sabihin na the healthcare sector can accommodate. So at this point in time, I feel that hindi naman masyadong overly congested yung mga hospital. At saka sa dami ng mga quarantine centers that have been set up, there's a bit of comfort zone. Comfort zone. We're not out of the woods, no? Pero may comfort zone. So ang hiniling ng private sector ngayon is that you have to have a workable public transportation for the mobility of the working class. Eh pag wala yun, maski na anong sinabi ni Secretary Mon Lopez na mga tindahan, mga eateries, pwede na 100%. But so I said, Sec, kailan follow up mo? And then we've been pushing for that. And I'm glad lately may pronouncement galing kay Secretary Art Tugade na for the public vehicle, ang requirement is yung sa mga pasahero, 1 seat apart. Okay? For a while, ang tagal ng debate kung 1 meter ba, 0.75, and I was part of the group that has been pushing for the 7 commandments. Okay? But we have to realize that everybody, not only dito sa atin, World Health Organization just came out the other day stating to the effect, they realized that kailangan may balanse tungkol sa buhay at saka livelihood. Balance, no? And I think for business sector, alam mo, I've been telling you, I said, we care for our people. We would not, recklessly have them come, to work and subject, because in my case, when I during that time may rapid test, I not only test my employee, I give them packet, I give them kits to test their family. Because sa kanya, it's although it's hanap buhay, but mahirap naman na nahawa siya, and then yung mga pamilya nila nahawa rin, no? So I've been very careful, and I would tell most business people are responsible, are caring enough, no, for them. So as we move forward, itong bagong speaker natin, although it's in the plate already, no, yung bill, okay, na arise, okay, and of course the Bayanihan 2, HILAS 1, okay, that's on the ongoing, but they have to for me, sabi ko ay some of my friends in government, as of now, like all countries, yung mga matrix na, yung mga yardstick na ginagamit natin, percent yung debt natin, percentage of GDP, yung debt servicing. Sabi ko, we should not concern with us on the yardstick. Ang yardstick ngayon is really how to take care of the citizen, how to revive the economy. Okay, and this is where we are as private sector. We're there to help. We're there to help in whatever way. And like us, we are most. I see most of you are senior, young senior, no? Yung yung requirement ng IATF dati, pag 60, bawal na lumabas ka eh, di ba? And I've actually talked to some of the secretary. I mentioned this, tayo lang. I mentioned Secretary Anyo, sabi ko, sana itanggal mo yung restriction. Sabi ko, ako 71 na ako eh. At least thank God I'm still helpful, no? I'm still so I'm glad that they have looked at the issue and they're more flexible. Okay. So I think yung paunti-unti, I think the government realized that they have really to keep the economy afloat. Okay? Pag wala, mahirap. Okay. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Nakamute ka, Melo. Melo, nakamute.
Walang sounds, Camilo.
Melo, nakamute ka.
All right. Alam nyo kung minsan itong technology nito, magugulat ka na lang eh. Anyway, Sunny, mula sa hanay ng manggagawa, how are things going?
Camilo, nasa Tripartite Industrial Peace Council kami kahapon at
Yung nangyari pa?
Ang pinag-usapan ay yung 13th month pay at saka yung floating extension ng floating employment, ano. Napakahirap talaga kasi sa kasalukuyan ay nakita natin na maski yung katiting na 13th month pay ay pinagtatalunan na. Actually sa trade union marami talaga ang natatanggal sa trabaho sa kasalukuyan. Nabalitaan natin last week na mayroong 4,000 manggagawa sa garments and textiles sa Cebu ang nawalan ng trabaho. Dito sa bandang Laguna ay nung linggo, kausap ko yung mga leader manggagawa sa 2 kumpanya. At yung isang kumpanya ay 1,500 na magsasara. At yung isang kumpanya ay mga 1,200 magsasara din dyan sa Laguna, sa textile and garments din ito. So, ang nangyayari ngayon yung mga manggagawa hirap na hirap at walang mapuntahan. Maski yung ating unemployment insurance sa SSS ay parang hindi enough, no? Hindi sapat para sa pangangailangan ng mga manggagawa. Kaya po yung nagkaisa labor coalition ay nagpo-propose na pwede ba magkaroon ng public employment program para at least matugunan yung mga nawawalan ng trabaho at yung mga natanggal na ay mayroong something guaranteed income. At napaka-importante na papel dito ay yung pamahalaan. At sa palagay namin yung budget ay napaka-importante rito na dapat yun ang papel ng gobyerno at hindi lamang umasa sa private sector. So ang intervention ng government ay napaka-importante sa kasalukuyan para sa mga manggagawa.
Alam mo, Sunny, kahapon, doon sa press briefing sa Malacanang, natanong ko si Secretary Bebot Bello. Sabi ko, 213,000 overseas Filipinos have returned to the Philippines through the DFA. Kinorek ako ni Secretary Bello. Sabi niya, Melo, it's 250,000 already. Last DFA, teka muna, bakit iba yung data ng DFA? Iba yung data ng Department of Labor. Maybe it's because iba-iba yung kanilang parameters. But the problem is, if you don't have the right data, you may not be able to respond to the actual situation. Sunny, ano nangyaring atmosphere kahapon? Malamig ba? Mainit ba? Away ba?
Siyempre, yung employers group sa pamamagitan ng ECOP at iba pang mga employers representative na nandoon. At yung trade union, nandoon yung nagkaisa labor coalition, yung FFW, Centro, TUCP. At siyempre, although hindi kasapi o hindi officially member yung Ilusang Mayo Uno ay nagsumikap din na sumali at mag-participate sa diskusyon kahapon.
Pinapasok naman.
Mainit
Pinapasok.
ang mainit ang tunggalian kahapon. Nandun nga para tumulong si Secretary Mon Lopez para at least sa pag-usapan yung mga small and medium enterprises at ang nagkaisa lang kami doon sa proposal ni President Serge Luis Ortiz na dapat talaga kung hindi kaya ng mga small and medium enterprises na bibigyan ng 13th month pay yung mga manggagawa, ay dapat pautangin sila ng gobyerno o ayudahan yung mga SMEs natin o micro enterprises na para masuportahan yung kanilang negosyo at syempre sana hindi magtanggal ng mga trabaho. So
Okay.
napaka-importante po ang papel ng gobyerno diyan.
Isang bagay kaya naging focused ako sa discussion natin ngayon. Noong Biyernes, naroon ako sa isang famous hot pot restaurant sa BGC. Kinumusta ko yung food server namin. Sabi ko, kumusta kayo? Alam nyo sir, salamat, may trabaho pa kami. Pero maniniwala ka ba? 60 kami rito nung araw. Ilan kayo ngayon? 4. Food server ako, kahera, may utility, kusinero, basta 4 sila. So, mabigat. Pati yung barbero sa mall, sabi ko, kumusta? Nabokya ho kami. Wala hong gusto magpagupit, walang magpamanicure. So, ganito yung sitwasyon. Pero, I don't know whether, anong kailangan, Dr. Rene o Freneo, from the academe, coming from Soler, anong klaseng industrial relations tayo meron ngayon? Yes, please. Dr. Rene.
Siguro bago ko sagutin yan, nais kong ipaliwanag na maganda yung summary na binigay ni itong kasama natin George Barcelon sa economy. Ang nais ko lang i-correct na kung minsan may sector tayo na medyo pabago-bago. Halimbawa, after the lockdown, nakita ko na may pag-asa pala yung agriculture na pabagsak ng pabagsak. Remember, is 8.8% lang yan ng last year na total GDP dahil napabayaan talaga yan. Corruption, total liberalization at iba pa. Medyo umangat. But lately, humihina na naman dahil nagreklamo po ang magsasaka sa palay sapagkat bagsak na naman dahil liberalization na naman. Ngayon nakita ako, halos lahat ng area, poultry, ang dami. I'm sure maraming kaibigan si Mr. Barcelona na poultry raisers na medyo mayayaman. Hindi ko lang babanggit ang mga pangalan nila. Talagang umaaray dito sa importation. Gayan din po sa isda, nagtataka ako sa fishery. Is an opportunity. Kasi yung crisis is katulad ng siya sabi ng Inchik, can be an opportunity also to look for new areas of development. Culture is certainly one. Sa hinahanap po natin yung maganda yung sinasabi na Mr. Mon Lopez na ito ay panahon para i-revive yung domestic industrialization. So hinahanap natin yung pagkakataon na yun sa health sector, kita nyo, tinamaan na naman ng import liberalization. Sa halip na pagbigyan yung mga taga-Cavite, Laguna na magagaling sa transport, mag-develop ng ventilator, mga PPEs, lahat. Angkat ng angkat, overpriced pa. And then, marami pa akong area. This is an opportunity to tingnan. So kaya nga, yung po sa micro-small na binabanggit niya, talaga hong umiiyak ang marami. Hindi ako, dahil may mga kamag-anak ako na talagang ilang buwan na pong walang kita. Pero minimaintain nila yung mga manggagawa kahit nalugi. And that's why sabi ko, ang tunay na bayani sa panahong ito ay yung mga negosyante na nagpupumilit ma-retain ang mga empleyado kahit na sila ay nagdurugo. And that's why do sa industrial relations, baka nami-mistake ako ng misinterpret ng ilang mga kasama, lalo sa labor movement. Sabi ko dapat talaga mag-usap ng mahusay, tuloy-tuloy, seryoso. Sapagkat sa ating saligang batas, nakalagay dyan, Section 3, Article 13, industrial relations is a shared responsibility. At diyan po ay kinakailangan ng sincere, serious, sustained dialogue. At dapat nga ang pag-usapan nila how to paano i-maintain, i-rebuild, at i-develop ang business at jobs together. We should, well, I'm sorry, I'm talking in a philosophical way, a social contract, a new social contract sa panahon ng pandemya.
Okay. Mas meron daw ho kasing honor mag-usap yung manggagawa at yung negosyante. Yun yatang walang honor sa pag-uusap mambabatas. No? That's what I heard. Pero I don't know. Hindi yun ang topic natin. Pero Leo, from your end, well,
Yes, sir.
ano ang tingin mo sa nangyayari ngayon? Attorney Leo Contreras, please.
First of all, good morning to everyone. Magandang umaga po. Mag-comment na lang ako para matulin Melo, no?
Sige.
Yung sinabi ni Mr. Barcelon, ito ho, apektado tayong lahat. I think so. Yung sinabi ni Mr. Barcelon, yung kinausap niya yung member ng business group ng gobyerno, 60 years and up should be allowed without restriction to go out.
Yes.
Ang tanong ko nga ho, nung buhay pa yung remember several years ago, yung sector ng senior citizen na party list na nakausap natin sa kapihan, Melo, and all of a sudden, sumakib lang buhay. Hindi ko ba sabi niya, bakit nyo i-prohibit ang 60 and up? Sino ba ho ang mga senior management group ng mga kumpanya? Kayong mga nasa gobyerno, nasa cabinet, puro 60 above. Paano natin ipapalakad ang ating gobyerno or society? That's one. Kay Atty. Matula naman po, una-una ho, Atty. Sani, I love your background. Mukha hong nasa Boracay kayo.
Hindi. Para maging buhay ang ating kapaligiran.
Tama ho yan. Saka ho, ang isa kong gusto kong komentaryo sa inyo, yun yung sinabi nyo na pagkakaroon ng pagtatalo, pagbigay ng 13th month pay. Ano po? Kasi ho, tama kayo I have been with the mining companies for more than 40 years. Wala kami naging problema sa pagbibigay ng 14th month pay dahil mandatory ho yan. Sinasabi nyo, ano ho?
May 14 pa nga, may 15 month pay.
Kung meron ng bonus, may 15. Kami ho, usually wala. Ano po? Except may kumikita mga kumpanya. Pero yung sinabi nyo, tama. Kung hindi ho makapagbayad ang mga MSME natin, yung nahihirapan, yung sinabi ni Doc Rene, kung nahihirapan, ito hong kanilang budget, 0.45 trillion. Saka yung mga nauna na 275 billion. Bakit ho hindi gamitin talagang ibigay sa ating MSME? Alam niyo ho, naglakad lang ho ako kahapon kasi stricto itong aking anak na babae. Diyan ho sa UP Town Center. Alam niyo ho, yung mga maliliit na tindahan, sarado. Even ho yung Max, pardon, di branding, sarado ho. Bakit? Problema nga ho yung pagkita. Hindi ho makapagbayad sa mga ng renta at ng empleyado. So bakit ho hindi ituon talaga ng gobyerno, ng DTI, kay Secretary, yung assistance sa MSME. And I think that was correctly mentioned by you, Atty. Sani.
Okay.
Okay, tapos
Maganda yung binabanggit ninyo actually, on the record, kinumbida ko yung DTI.
yes.
Kinumbida ko rin yung Department of Finance because part of the survey ng World Bank, ng DOF at ng NEDA, may nagsasabi na nag-apply kami for assistance, merong nakatanggap, merong hindi, merong nag-apply pero hindi na nakabalita. Gusto ko sanang malaman direkta mula sa DTI, ano gagawin ninyo to help the micro, the small, and medium enterprises? You know, restaurants are closing. Okay? I've seen a number of restaurants, sabi ko doon sa mga may-ari, bakit kayo nagsara? Paano hindi ka magsasara? Yung rental. For a restaurant na maliit, to break even, dapat may benta kang 23,000. Eh kung bumibenta ka ng 7,000, meron pang production cost, may labor ka pa, may kuryente, may rental, walang mangyayari. Hindi ko malaman ngayon kung ano ang kailangang gawin para maiangat. Dahil for every restaurant na nagsasara, may 15 hanggang 20 nawawalan ng trabaho. Mr. Bartolon, coming from PCCI, anong tingin ninyo? What could be done?
Alam mo, Melo, I appreciate mga inputs na kasama ko dito sa panelist. No? Ang bottom line is how can we build the trust sa mga publiko that they maraming, alam mo, actually ngayon it's better, no? But before, 2-3 months ago, may mga empleyado, they're not allowed by their family to go out to work kasi takot sila baka mahawa di ba? So that fear is in everybody's. Alam nila na yung at that time, no, yung healthcare sector natin, yung frontline nahihirapan, ang daming doktor at saka nurse namatay, di ba? So everybody has this fear. For us to really build to inject life into the economy is this level of confidence. Kaya ang level of confidence can only be brought forth sa mga testing natin. Of course, ultimately, ang kailangan natin is vaccine. Okay? But you're talking about 6 months away. So in the meantime, the proper protocols, okay, that must be followed, okay, should be implemented with the mindset that we respect the COVID-19, but we do not fear it na hanggang tayo na ma-paralyze. You know, the economy is paralyzed because we are so afraid of it. But if there are ways to mitigate it, halimbawa yung mga frontline workers, actually I mentioned this to some of in some of the forum. I said, imbis na yung ayuda, part of the ayuda can be some therapeutical medicine or some vitamins, immunity booster. Because mahirap na sabihin natin na we want to test everybody. Okay? But if you give them those, at least naman sila ang frontline Silang sarili mismo, they can take care of themselves Kaya yung vitamin at saka yung therapeutic, na they don't have to wait to be checked na meron silang positive sa COVID-19. Kung masama ang pakiramdam nila, they are given certain medications, no? And it's a balancing act. I'm not saying that is the final solution, but whatever that needs to be done to build up the confidence of the public, okay, and to let them know that the private sector and government and the labor sector are in this together. So that's my point, because otherwise, if you notice, walang mga social activities. Sino bang bibili ng sapatos? Sino bibili ng bagong damit? Wala namang event tayo lang nasa katulad tayo, nagzo-zoom tayo. I would be very honest with you, naka-short pants lang ako. Diba? Naka-short. Because we don't need to be in the proper attire. So you magnify that. People don't have to go to work. Lalo ng mga babae, they're very conscious of their looks. So can you imagine all of that, you put it aside? Walang consumption. Walang bibili. So that's but you have to build that to the effect that there is this reopening and trust is important and confident in our health system. Okay, thank you.
I've seen the malls, pero maraming tao pero hindi namimili. Yun ang problema. I don't know how you would react to it, Dr. Ofreneo,
Okay.
and Deo. Yes.
Maganda po yung sinabi ni Mr. Barcelon. Yung economy, kung mahina ang consumption, talagang babagal ang takbo. Right now, the last 20 years, medyo macro ito, the last 20-25 years, ang ating economy always described as consumption-led. But ang naglilid po ng consumption, mga pamilya ng OFWs, alam po natin yan.
Yeah,
Eh,
of course.
nireport kanina, marami hong bumabalik, marami rin hong tago na ng tago abroad. Hindi po yan ang monitor sapagkat na-displace na sila sa trabaho nila. Kaya, at unfortunately, yung pamanding mga bansa na kung saan malakas magpa-remit ang mga OFWs, yun ang tinatamaan.
Saudi Arabia. is a
Middle
good
East,
example.
yes. And then I'm sure lumalaki ang tent city dyan. Kasi pag wala na mapuntahan, pupunta sa tent city ang mga OFWs na yan. So, how do you revive yung consumption? Yung pong panukala ni Stella Kimbo, Arise, is a very good proposal pero inalagay sa isang tabi. At ang inuna nila yung bayanihan 2 na sabi niya ni si Amy pa nagsabi, parang tingi ito, 160 billion. Samantala yung Arise, 1.3 trillion, nakafocus po sa mga small industries. Ngayon, yung ayuda, we can only do so, the government can only do so much. So, mahalaga na yung ayuda ng gobyerno talagang mapalaki, pero mag-focus doon sa area na malaki ang multiplier effect. Sa akin po, ang pinupus po namin, unahin natin ang mga urban poor, peri-urban poor community sapagkat dyan po talamak ngayon ang COVID. At tapos, tinatamaan sila sapagkat masyadong congested and ang livelihood po ay kabila nagbabagsakan. Kung kaya po, makita nyo sa news kanina at kahapon, bumabalik na naman yung pagbebenta ng mga shabu. Sapat wala na mapuntahan ng mga tao. So, therefore, mobilization ng mga maliliit na mga urban poor, peri-urban poor communities, including coastal poor communities, dyan buhos ang ayuda. Maliit na ayuda, ang laki ng impact compared sa pagtatayo ng isang subway sa Metro Manila. Sapagkat ang makakakreate, yan po ang karanasan ng mundo. Yan ang karanasan ni Franklin Delano Roosevelt sa Amerika noong 1930s. Nagtayo yung sinasabi ni Sonny Matula, Public Works Project. Ang inuna po nila yung yung pag-aayos ng kanilang yung forest, yung sanitation, sewage, lahat po, and na-create ng jobs from west to east. So yung po, from east to west, ganyan po. Una, you can only allocate so much, but you have to strategize. People's mobilization.
Okay, Dr. Rene, don't be frustrated because whether you like it or not, mobilization will come in with the coming 2022 elections. They're starting to mobilize people already, right? Yung rent out, baka kumita na naman, kaya lang with social distancing. Okay, we'd like to open the floor to our colleagues from the media. Celerina Monte of Daily Manila Shimbun is with us. Celerina, good morning. Go ahead with your questions, please. Celerina.
Good morning po. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, but we cannot see you.
Wag na.
Okay.
Sabi ka, katulad yan sabi Mr. Barcelona. Nakabihis.
Sige. Okay.
Para po kay
Yes, please.
Okay. Para po kay Mr. Barcelona. So you have mentioned na there's a need to build up the confidence of the public para at least ma-push yung consumption natin. So specifically, what should the government do in order to boost yung confidence ng tao para lumabas sila?
Thank you for the question, Celerina. Kanina binanggit ko na, the health protocols is one of the pillar na they are assured that if they are exposed to the COVID, they have a fallback. Our healthcare will be able to take care of them. I remember yung sa umpisa, takot na takot ng mga tao because they've been hearing left and right, may namatay, may ganyan. So that instilled in them the fear. But now, this healthcare is, I think, manageable. And the other side I mentioned is tungkol sa mobility. Ang para mga manggagawa, they have the last mile. Yung jeepney na yung issue na yan, we have been really, do back channeling to open up, because not only it's the workers or the arawan is having a difficulty, but ang hanap buhay ng mga jeepney drivers, ang laki ng effect. You're talking about 50,000. So all of this, the government must realize that they should gradually improve the system. The traffic that we had experienced before, okay, can be mitigated by more discipline. Okay? Yung mga buses, mga ganyan, I think they should be fielding more. I know they're doing some experiment in the having this center aisle for the buses, no? And I'm supportive of that, but I am realistic kung kaya ba yung infrastructure natin. Because that portion was meant for the MRT, mga rider. Ngayon, pag isama mo yung mga buses, ang meron akong picture punong-puno na. Talagang parang sardinas yung mga tao dyan. So this is something that the government has to work on. Transportation, healthcare, and I support all the statements being made. There should be more stimulus given. Pag walang consumption, lalo na ngayon, we're expecting more. Actually, we're expecting more for our kapwang Pilipino from abroad to come back. I heard there's an estimate of more people coming back, no? Because the economy in the Middle East is hurt badly. Mababang presyo ng crudo, you know. And that's one of the effects. And on the side that was mentioned about importations, no, I just like to add some comment.
Please.
If you notice, lumakas ang pera natin, ang peso lumakas . You're talking about 45, no? Baka bumaba pa. When the peso is too strong, that encourage, because it reflects on our competitiveness, di ba? Pag lumakas ang pera natin, we are less competitive to other countries because the other ASEAN depreciate, but not as much as we did. No, we appreciated quite a bit. So that affects yung trade. Sa mga negosyante, they are businessmen. They will find the cheapest source.
Yes.
And there's the other side of it. I also read that this also has helped lower down the index on cost of living. And so it's mahirap na i-debate mo na which is better, because the majority of the public they're also looking for affordable food, no? But at the same time, we do have to protect our farmers, no? That's why we have to be competitive. I have a chance to talk to Secretary Dar, yung advocacy nila ng plant, which is good. But at the same time, we have to upgrade our technology to be more productive. Okay, because outside the other countries, you can see that their productive produce per hectare is it's higher than the Philippines. So this is where the trade-off is. Okay, so I can only say in reply to your question is that these things has to. There's no magic bullet here. It's a combination of different aspects that has to be put together and try and then tweak, try again and then work it out. Sige, maraming salamat po.
Okay. Silirina, may follow-up ka. Please go ahead.
Kay sir naman, regarding yung sa meeting kahapon, kay Sir Sunny, kay Sir Matula, opo. Ano po yung naging commitment ng government regarding dun sa request nyo na partly i-subsidize yung 13th month pay? Meron bang commitment? Salamat po.
Yes, Sunny. Yes.
Kahapon ay nandun si Secretary Mon Lopez at nang narinig niya yung sinabi ni ECO President Serge Luis Ortiz at siyempre yung suporta ng trade union. Sabi niya ikonsidera daw yan ng Department of Trade and Industry at palagay ko ay may pupositibong gagawin yung ating gobyerno kasi nandun yung dalawang sekretaryo mga alter ego ng presidente ng Pilipinas. Yung aming argument lang doon na kasi yung 13th month pay ay nasa batas na yan at wala namang sinasabi doon sa teksto ng batas mismo na pwede ma-exempt, although sa implementing rules ay may nakalagay doon. Pero nung una mong mga implementing rules, nung mga late implementing rules ng Department of Labor ay walang exemption. Sa palagay namin, pag in-exempt ko yung sinasabi nilang mga enterprises ay nawalan tuloy ng proteksyon yung mga manggagawa. So sa kasalukuyang pandemya, palagay namin na mas lalo ngayong kinakailangan ng mga manggagawa ang proteksyon. At kung hindi talaga kaya ng mga employer, kaya hanapan ng paraan ng gobyerno na matulungan sila. So palagay ko ay kung matutulungan yung mga small and medium enterprises natin or yung ating sabi nga nila yung medium may kaya na, yung mga micro enterprises, small and micro enterprises, palagay ko naman ay hindi na sasapitin yung kawalan ng 13th month pay sa Pasko. So yun ang aming panukala sa Tripartite Industrial Peace Council at sana hindi matuloy yung pagtanggal ng karapatan na nasa batas na. So those who have less in life must have more in law, not to be deprived during this pandemic.
Attorney,
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Can I add something, Attorney? I support you on that. I'm also part of ECOP. I'm Vice President of ECOP. At saka pinag-usapan yung 13 month. And I will assure you, the employers are really, ang intention nila is how to. Kaya yung suggestion ni Mr. Ortiz, our President, is very appropriate. Hiningi nila ng tulong ng employers na sources of fund. Okay? So we're on the same boat. Thank you.
Kaya sinusuportahan din namin yung sinasabi ni Dean of Reneo, yung Arise na sinasabi rin
Yes.
ni Atty. Barcelona.
Yes.
So magkaisa tayo diyan probably. So yung aming trade union at yung ECOP ay mayroong initial na mga pag-usap sa Leaders Forum para sa mga anong gagawin ng mga manggagawa o trade unions at yung mga employers group, paano natin harapin itong lumalalang crisis ng ating bansa.
Yeah, by the way, we're now on Facebook Live, ano? Sa wakas,
Okay.
naka-connect tayo. Mantakin mo kung hinintay natin, hindi ngayon pa lang tayo magsisimula. But anyway, Deo, yung mining industry ba may nakikita kang kinabukasan dahil wala naman social distancing sa ilalim ng mina eh. Di ba, Deo? Yes, please.
Naka-mute.
Yeah, unmute.
Unmute.
Okay. Yes.
Ni Mr. Barcelona saka ni Atty. Sani, binasa ko this morning yung picture na sa business sector ng Philippine Star about yung Moody's investor analyst. Yan nag-analyze sa ating GDP, etc. Ang sinabi nila, for economy that is falling like ours because of the COVID, tatlo yung generic na minention ang dapat adresan at tulungan itong mga bayan na to katulad natin. Number one will be social. I guess yan ho yung naghihirap ng mga MSME, yung nangangailangan ng trabaho. Yan ho yung social, etc. Naka-overarching ho dyan yung finance, saka DTI. Number two ho, ang minention yung infrastructure. Kailangan daw ho na infrastructure. Whether the government has performed very well in infrastructure building, I will not have any comment. And number three ho, debt financing. Kasi sa laki ho ng utang natin, hindi naman ho pwedeng utang na lang ng utang. Dapat meron ng plano how to finance all this indebtedness. And then from this debt, we extend support to our industries or people. Kasi po pag ibibigay nyo lang ho to business, even if it's a micro, dapat mo may return Kung one way lang po, like yung ginawa nila sa SAP, although that's commendable, tingnan nyo ho nangyari. So many of the barangay leaders are being sued for estafa because they did not pay out the assistance program.
Okay.
So siguro yun yung sinabi ng Moody's na nag-examine sa ating economy, tatlong as of now tatlong main body, social activities program, infrastructure, and then debt financing. Yan ho kailangan natin. And then ho, tungkol naman ho sa pinanggalingan ko, nandito ho ba si Din na rin eh?
Nauna na dahil may meeting pa raw siya. Oo.
Kasi ho si Din Rene, noon hong papapasok ko sa Chamber of Mines noong 1993, sila ho yung nagsulat nung Isles of Gold na libro kila Tony Gonzales tungkol sa status ng minahan natin. And ang isa ho talagang ang pinopokuso natin yan because of what happened now is the price of gold. Ang gold ho kasi meron ho yung characteristic, I hope you don't mind, kapag ho naghihirap ang mundo, ang gold ho tumataas. So yung gold mining industry ho namin, malaki ho ang kita. Kung tingnan nyo sa stock exchange, malalaki ang kita nila dahil ho, ang laki ng return ng kanilang produkto.
Okay.
But ang sad ho niyan, kumikita din, kaya lang ho yung illegal miner, yung informal miner, kumikita din, hindi naman nagbabayad ng tax. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko kanina kay Mr. Barcelon, kung tataksan nyo po ang legitimate industry, kukunti na lang ho kaming mining companies, especially in gold, dapat ho habulin natin yung informal na mga minero because all of us know who are supporting them.
Okay.
Especially in Southern Mindanao. So,
Yeah.
hindi ho kami nagre-retrench ngayon, Melo. Even in
Okay.
legal projects, hindi ho kami nagbabayad ho kami on time ng aming 13th-month pay. Pangalawa
Very
ho,
good.
yung aming Social Development Management Program, SDMP, ini-stress ho namin sa community kasi ho talagang kawawa ho ang communities. Where we have our mining companies, tumutulong ho yung mining companies. Tingnan ho, walang complaint sa amin kasi we take care of our communities. Yan lang ang masasabi ko.
Okay. Yeah. Let me ask our members of the panel. Siguro si George pagtapos na yung kanyang phone call. There is isa sa mga findings ng World Bank ng DOF at ng NEDA, ito, almost 2/3 ng mga kumpanya turn to digital solutions for sales, marketing, and payment methods to adapt to the new normal. Marami ring mga kumpanya ang gumastos sa digital solutions. 23%. O di kaya nag-repackage ng kanilang produkto. Ngayon, pag nag-digital ka, ilang manggagawa ang mawawala ng trabaho, yung dating manual. Alam niyo, may nakita kong pabrika ng Huawei, nung araw ang nagsusulda raw doon mga Chino, ngayon robot na. I don't know. Sani, mula sa pananaw ng mga manggagawa, ano ang sitwasyon?
Tama Camilo, yung technology ay napaka-importante sa kasalukuyan. Although ako ay nagtuturo at sinasabi namin na the teachers will not be replaced by technology. But a teacher who have no knowledge of technology will be replaced by a teacher who knows technology.
Of course.
So yun ang aming napag-usapan doon sa isang forum doon sa Education International na yung FFW ay kasama.
Okay.
Sa kasalukuyan may mga factory tayo na marami yung manual labor ang ginagamit pero nag-a-adapt na rin ng technology tulad ng tawag namin cobot yung collaboration with the robots. Dito sa FTI mayroon tayong diyang semiconductor company na nagtatanggal ng mga trabahante at napapalitan ng mga robots. Okay naman dahil sa pag-uusap ng union at ng management, yung mga natanggal sa trabaho ay nilipat sa ibang bansa. At least napag-usapan namin yan kung ano yung gagawin para doon sa mga displaced worker. Maganda yung kung may union at may management na nag-uusap tungkol sa anong gagawin pag mag-adapt ng changes sa loob ng pagawaan.
Parang hindi ko ma-imagine mag-organize ka ng union ng mga robot, Parang mahirap, Okay. Yes, please, George. Anong take mo rito? Yung, sabi kasi ng World Bank, almost 2/3 ng mga kumpanyang na-survey nila turn to digital solutions for sales, marketing, and payment methods to adapt to the new normal. Sizable share ng mga kumpanya, about 23%, gumastos doon sa ganitong bagong approach. Ano ang tingin ninyo?
Well, ako naman, that is a fact, no, na kailangan, as I mentioned earlier, before we had this formal discussion, sabi ko yung importante sa atin, adaptation, agility, at innovations. So the digital platform definitely is something that we have to embrace. Okay, like in my companies, I already gave order to my HR. Sabi ko, yung mga functions na pwedeng work from home, we will maintain that. Okay? Yung opisina natin, sabi ko, we will try to maximize what are the functions that requires that office space. Okay? So, for me naman, sabi ko, imbis na just going back to normal, sabi ko, iba na yung normal ngayon eh. You have to be competitive. That's why I like to follow up what Attorney Sani mentioned about, the what do you call, the reality that we face about AI and robotics, artificial intelligence robotics.
Okay.
We need, and this is something that I've been talked to different government officials. We need to upgrade our technical skills. Kailangan ituro natin yung mga manggagawa, okay, for a certain level, for certain skills. We can attract these training centers, whether by focusing on certain industries. No, each country, we don't have to. That's why I said TESDA. Sometimes it's more like a shotgun approach. I would rather have TESDA go to a country. Let's say if this country is about automobile parts, sige, pag-usapan natin. You set up training companies here, focus on that. Government can subsidize the training, but if that person gets accredited, you hire them.
Okay.
I for one, Attorney Sani, I'm also an employer, I'm a businessman, and I'm also conscious of the fact that we cannot have a society that thrives on low wages. Okay, but we live in a world, we live in a global world. It's competition, and what do you talk about competition? You talk about skill sets.
Yes.
You talk about knowledge. Naging knowledge workers eh. And it is only through that I would rather. That's why I often say the business side must be able to be forward-looking and seeing what are these sectors that the country can move into in a big way. Mahirap yung, we go to we talk about augmentation of employment, tingi-tingi lang, 200, 500. We have to go to certain sectors. Now we can hire 10,000. And these are skilled workers. I mean, I will tell you honestly, I ran shoe factory a long time ago. I was exporting Nike shoes, everything. Okay, they're all gone. Okay? Everybody knows the history of the labor issues, no? And I felt that we were exporting and cyclical. When times are bad, wala kaming order. But I felt that kulang sa communication. I'm not blaming just on the union, but also on the management, no? Because they don't know the nature of the business. Pag-export, cyclical yun eh. So finally, it's a loss. We closed 2 factories. We lost about 3,000 workers. And that's it. So I felt that you got to have a long-term plan for certain industry, wherein the workers can continuously be trained to upgrade their skills and to get a pay that is fair to the industry. As I said, globalization ngayon, walang entitlement. Even for us companies, when we close down, masakit din. But we are competing with other companies from other countries. Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin na, uy pare, mahal ang kuryente namin, mahal. You give alibis, who cares? Your buyers. I just want a good product of certain quality, ganitong presyo. Kung hindi nyo kaya, sorry na lang. And I've encountered that in the export business. So I'm saying let's all work together. I'm all for really a good industrial relationship between management and labor. that's para makaunlad ng bansa. I tell you, this is all, let me remind our viewers, ang mga negosyante, it's not always the bottom line, really. It's really for the country's welfare and the country's development, because we don't want social unrest also. Di
Of
ba?
course. Who would anyway? Yeah.
Yes, we would. So we need to help. We need to help each other out. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Attorney Johnny.
Sandali
Thank
lang.
you, thank you.
Dr. Ofreneo, your thoughts about this? Yung headwinds na hinaharap natin ngayon. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, let me take up doon sa sinabi po ni Mr. Barcelon. Yung skills, napakahalaga po yan. Ang nawawala po sa programa ng gobyerno is strategizing skills and industrial development. Kasi pag tinignan nyo po yung ating neighboring countries, nagsimula sa Japan, tapos sa South Korea, Taiwan, ngayon China, maliwanag na yung skills upgrading ay kaugnay sa industrial upgrading. So you have to climb up the industrial ladder, and sabay po yan ng skills ladder and technology ladder. So yung po nangyayari doon sa yung southern provinces ng China, I visited that. Tinanggal nila yung medyo pinace out yung garments, cheap, labor intensive. Kasi sabi nila, we have to go to high tech, higher tech. Ibigay na natin yung garments sa Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and other poorer countries. Then tinaas nila, there was a series of minimum wage increases. Para katulad ng ginawa ni Lee Kuan Yew sa Singapore noong 1980s, because they have to push industry and employees to go upstairs. But at the same time, the government is there to provide yung skills development. So with the artificial intelligence, robotization, hindi po pwede. Sabay-sabay yan. That's why nga, sinasabi ko lagi, yan DOST, dapat kasabay lagi ng NEDA, and for a long, long time, magkawala yan at DOST. Sabagat yung nung panahon ni Ramos, for example, iba yung industrial priorities ng NEDA, iba ang industrial priorities ng DTI, iba rin yung sa DOST. We are not acting as a team. But
Okay.
dapat po sabay-sabay. Ngayon, doon sa skills, maliwanag na maliwanag, missing yung human resource development sa agriculture. Kung kaya po yung mga magsasaka na naroon lang sa ibaba, at then hindi man lang sila maka-participate actively sa supply chain. And take the case of coconut, hanggang copra at nut lang tayo. Pagdating na doon sa desiccated coconut at yung mga processing, tataas na presyo, hindi sila makinabang. And doon sa yung supply chain, input and output, wala. Ganyan din po sa iba't ibang area ng industry natin. That's why po, mahalaga yung industrial visioning and renewal. Maganda po yung sinasabi ni Mon Lopez, let's look inward, yung domestic-oriented. Because of the pandemic, ang hirap ngayon mag-breakthrough sa export market. But yung domestic market of 110 million is an opportunity to rebuild yung mga steel industry. But right now, ang nagbo-boom sa industry, and Mr. Barcelon can correct me, ito sa light industry, katulad ng mga merienda, snacks. Pero we should go naman higher. And yung mga halimbawa sa energy, ang dami pong pwedeng.
Okay.
I
In other
agree.
words,
I agree.
strategy and mobilization.
Yes,
Okay.
Dean, I agree. I agree. I agree.
George?
I will share with you a story. You know, alam natin lahat yung electronic company Sharp, di ba? I think all of us Sharp.
Yes, sir.
You know why the company is called Sharp? I'll tell you a story behind it. The company used to be a pencil sharpener. Okay. They used to make pencil sharpener.
All right.
Now, if they stuck to that, you think they will be around? Maski na kung anong gawin nila, i-improve nila yung pencil sharpener? No, but you have to move ahead, like what Dean just mentioned. together yung strategic plan natin sa industriya. Pero kasama yung labor because you have to fit the requirement, di ba?
Yeah, all right.
Madalas, that's why I said we have to communicate more because I feel that sayang naman with all the effort to set up a business, to invest on their skill, and then there are situations that beyond our control, katulad ng COVID-19. Hindi naman na nanggaling sa atin eh. I mean, this is a worldwide issue. But we got to look at it we got to be circumspect that we are in together. Ano ba yung mga skill sets na dapat? Okay? I sometimes, I run factories before. So minsan, alam mo, masakit sa dibdib ko when I find that all the things that we've been doing, parang naging entitlement na ganito gusto namin. Sabi ko, alam mo, export kami. We're competing with all the people, all the rest of the world. Hindi naman kami dictate na presyo. So it's not that we don't want to survive. We want to, but we want to survive together. That's why I want to impress on them. Kasama tayo dyan. Okay? Because if we don't survive, loss.
Okay.
All our capital is lost. Diba?
Alright.
So I agree. Thank you.
Good. Pero one last question and sana brief answers lang, reaction.
Okay.
Sabi, firms expressed high degree of uncertainty and general pessimism about their operations, sales, and employees for the next 3 months. That's for 2020, no? Yung daw kakulangan ng confidence will likely limit additional investment and employment, restraining the firm's growth. And this suggests that business activities are expected to stay subdued for an extended period. Another point, sabi ng mga kumpanyang na-survey, the most useful form of government support are those that would improve their liquidity, such as cash transfers, subsidized interest rates, deferral of loan, rent, or utility payments, and tax exemptions or reductions. Ayon po sa survey, these are aligned with the government's proposed legislative interventions to reduce corporate income tax rates and improve the liquidity in the financial sector. 20% ng mga kumpanya ang nagsabi they received support from the national government, mainly in the form of cash transfers directly paid to employees. Your reactions, Deo, kay Dean, kay Sunny, at kay George. Deo, ikaw muna.
Okay. Dalawa lang, as you said, it should be sure. Dalawa lang hong prinsipyo ang banggitin ko. Unang prinsipyo, ito, sanay na sanay si Dean Rene dito, yung nature ho ng human being, man by nature is a social creature, di ba? Hindi tayo hindi pwede makipaghalubilo sa isa't isa. That's one. But opposite of that is this sickness, this illness, which is antisocial. It prevents us from dealing with each other. Ano ho nangyayari in between? We have to invent a connectivity. Mabuti na lang po, meron ho tayo nitong digital. Hindi ho tayo nagkakasama-samang sa isang lugar na sikip-sikip. Kung wala ho yan, I just cannot imagine how we can go along. So, opposite ho talaga ng being a social creature, itong sakit na ito. Okay, number 2 ho. Alam niyo ho, ito ay aking tinatago sa aming cabinet, yung isang old Persian proverb. Iranian ho ito, Persian, the Persian Empire. Sabi nila, thinking well is wise. Pero number 2, sabi niya, but planning well is wiser. Pero sabi nila, doing well is best and wisest of all. Yan po naman ay inaalay ko sa ating gobyerno.
Okay? Yeah. Dean Reneo, please. Your reactions to what I said, what ought to be done.
Well, actually, tama po yung liquidity nasa negosyo. Hindi po yung, at kaya po, nagtataka kami bakit yung panukala ni Stella Kimbo, trillion, ay hindi nilampasan. Ang nangyayari po,
Hindi ipinasa.
ang nangyayari, pinagpipilitan, nangungutang, tapos dinadala sa gross international reserves ni Ben Jokno para daw tumaas ang credit worthiness ng Pilipinas. And in the process, tumataas ang value ng dollar. At sa pagtaas ng value ng dollar, we're one of the highest now in the Asia, nagiging puro importation ang naiisip ng mga tao dahil mas mura nga naman, lalo nadadaig ang local industry at local agriculture. There's something wrong in the process. There we should be counter-cyclical where napakaliit ng gastos natin. And then yung paggastos naman, yung tinag-usapan nating ayuda, dapat talaga unahin yung mga nasa informal, yung mga livelihood doon, sunod yung mga micro, small, and medium. They constitute 99% of the enterprises in the Philippines. And then yun, pag medyo lumobo po yun, mag-surge, medyo gaganda ng kaunti ang takbo. Yan ay opportunity naman buhayin yung mga domestic industry na pinangunahan ni Mr. Barcelon. Tingnan muli yung sinasabi ni Mr. Montes na look inward. Nung maupo po ang Pangulo, sabi niya bubuhayin yung steel. Meron ka ng bill na nangangailangan ng steel. Bakit hindi na natatayo pa yung steel na yan? Kaya yung Hanjin, pagkakaroon mo na i-take over, magtayo ka ng sarili mo mga small boats, big boats, and even the Philippine Navy was willing to participate. Bakit hindi sinasamantala? So we need strategizing along this line. Hindi po pwede na basta industry mag-lead. All of us, sama-sama. Hopefully, si Mr. Yung pong bagong speaker ng House, lalo na siya ay malapit doon sa isang industry captain ng Pilipinas, sana makita niya na ganito ang dapat na direksyon ng ating bansa.
Okay. Siguro, Dr. Rene, ang kailangan din maliwanag ang definition ng katagang development. Alin ba ang pakahulugan ng development when you get to see more subdivisions or more productive rice lands? Anong tingin mo ron, Karine?
Matagal na hong pinagtatalunan yung issue ng development. Maaaring lumaki ang GDP mo, gross domestic product, pero kung ang bibingka napupunta lang sa ilang tao, wala pong development yun. Dapat po ang development, yun po na-define na po ngayon sa bagong social development goals ng UN by 2030. And SDG po 50 P yan. People, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. Yun po ang missing. So yung binabanggit nyo na dumarami ang mga villages na mayroong mga magagandang bahay, sasabihin pa nila green village, samantala yung maraming mga poor communities, hindi po yan development. Yan po simple na unequal growth.
Thank you. Attorney Sunny Matulan na nagkaisa at FFW, please.
Oo, natatandaan ko yung isang sinabi ng isang doktor sa World Health Organization noong 2 linggong nakaraan na nakasama namin. Kinote niya yung attribution kay Charles Darwin. Ang sabi niya na hindi po yung pinakamalakas o yung pinakamatalino ang mag-survive sa kasalukuyang hinaharap nating crisis, kung hindi yung mga taong marunong mag-adjust sa mga pagbabago na kanyang hinaharap. Yun po ay nakasulat ata sa California Science Academy, pero tinanggal na yun kasi inattribute lang yung kay Charles Darwin, pero baka hindi si Charles Darwin na nagsabi noon. So ang mensahe ay napaka-importante yung pag-adjust sa nagbabagong panahon. Kaya ang tutok namin sa kasalukuyan, sana yung gobyerno ay mag-adjust at magbago. Natunan niya na malaking papel yung ating economic stimulus package na una, yung sa konkreto niyan, yung proposal nga ni Congresswoman sa Kibo sa Marikina na sinusuportahan yun ng employers at ng trade union. At siyempre, itong bagong speaker natin ay batang-bata, Kung sana mabigyan niya ng pansin yun at bigyan ng tuon ang Arise Bill na yun para mabigyan ng substantial answer itong kasalukuyan nating crisis. Ang pangalawa ay siyempre yung sinasabi ni Dean Ofreneo kanina na yung pagbabago ng relasyon ng employers at ng workers. Sa palagay ko napaka-importante niya yung social dialogue na sinasabi sapagkat yung development naman na sinasabi natin ay hindi tunay kung walang partisipasyon yung mga workers at siyempre yung mga employers. So napaka-importante dito ang social dialogue. Kami sa FFW ay sinusubukan na namin na mag-engage sa Employers Confederation of the Philippines at may project kami doon na principles-based corporate social responsibility program. Mga 3 taon na ang programa na yan at palagay ko marami na naaabot ng mga employers at workers. Sa palagay ko na yung ating concern na hindi lamang profit kundi yung ating planet at siyempre yung ating people at ang productivity ng ating kompanya. Sang-ayon kami diyan at palagay ko sa mga puntong yan ay pwede tayong magsimula ng pag-uusap yung employers at ang workers group. Thank you po.
Okay. Mr. George Barcelon, please. Coming from the business sector.
Well, I agree naman na sa ngayon yung issue ng liquidity kasi big and small hirap talaga you're in business now, no? Because when your consumption is dropped beyond more than 50%. Okay? So having said that, but in one of my speech one time, I used the analogy. We may not see the light at the end of the tunnel right now, okay? But each and every one of us, okay, government, labor, and business owner, each and one of us are holding a torch. We're marching forward together, okay? The light it doesn't have to be at the end of the tunnel, but we have to create that light for us to see where we're going. Di ba? Kaya I agree naman sa liquidity, everybody is affected. Actually, we've been telling the government, yung sa SB Corp, yung mga financing fund for the MSMEs, no? Yung binigyan ng gobyerno 1 billion, sandali lang ubos na eh. So we hope that they can augment that. Okay? Aside from that, the government side, no? I mean, we have always been concerned that the ease of doing business. Okay. Now that we're having difficulties in business, dapat bawasin yung mga requirement, yung mga compliance, yung mga licenses na kailangan. Kaya yung merong yung bagong power, special power given to the president. I hope, of course, we have ARTA, but it's an upward battle with the ARTA also. No, I hope that everybody takes to heart that at this time they can help by reducing bureaucracy and helping the small guys, as far as getting their paperwork. So with that, I'm sure that we will see a light at the end of the tunnel. Maraming salamat po.
Mga kaibigan, in closing, I'd like to say thank you to our colleagues from the media who took time out to be with us. I'm reading a book. It's entitled The Room Where It Happened, a White House Memoir, written by John Bolton. May isang quote dito na nakatawag ng aking pansin sa simula pa lang. Ang sabi ni John Bolton, Trump was surrounded only by yes men. I don't want this thing to happen in the Philippines. So what we need is, let's be transparent, let's be sincere, let's find out what we could do together. Because according to a businessman by the name of B.C. Forbes, a shady business never yields a sunny life. Thank you very much, Attorney Deo, Dr. Rene, Attorney Manny, and Mr. George Barcelon. Thank you. We missed DTI and DOF, but with you around, we've had more than enough. Thank you, and God bless us all. Stay safe. Till next time.
Attorney Sani, Dr. Rene, Leo,
Salamat po.
maraming salamat po. Nice meeting you.